Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Good evening, everyone. Health experts are warning you to start booking appointments now. Sanford and Essentia say they've seen an uptick in people coming in with serious health conditions after putting off doctor visits throughout the pandemic. Valley News Team's Callie Hubbard has our top story.
If you need care now, please don't wait on it. Come in before it's too late.
Dr. Avish Nagpal with Sanford says now more than ever, healthcare providers are playing catch up as more people come in with serious health conditions after putting off visits due to COVID-19. He says it created a domino effect, adding people would have had a better outcome if they had come in sooner.
There were more complications that they had to deal with. And then at the same time, when they decided to not go for surgery at that particular time or not come in for their routine checks, it got postponed, and by the time they were ready to come in, we had another surge.
Nagpal says the risk of continuing to put off your care is much worse than the risk you're taking to come into the hospital or clinic. He says they are taking many precautions to make sure you feel safe. Essentia Hospital told us patients and providers must wear a mask that covers your mouth and nose at all times. They have markers on the floor to help with social distancing and are spacing out people in waiting rooms.
If you're thinking waiting for the vaccine, that should not be a reason to postpone the care.
Dr. Nagpal says he's especially concerned about those with a mild cough, bladder infection, or diabetes. He says because case numbers are down, now's the time to come in for a visit before there's another COVID surge after the holidays. In Fargo, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
And you might recognize that doctor there. We introduced you to him a couple weeks ago as the first doctor in North Dakota to get the COVID vaccine. Tonight, he tells us he's feeling great and hasn't had any major side effects.
When we did the trials, there were a little bit more side effects with the second dose in terms of pain at the injection site or fatigue. But again, these are minor side effects that resolve within 24 to 48 hours. So I don't expect too much of a problem.
And he'll get that second vaccine dose on Monday. Well, to the forecast, a better day today, and the temperatures may keep climbing. Nathan tells us what's in store for tonight. Nathan?
Yeah, Stacy, not going to see too many climbing temperatures tonight, but as we go into the next couple of days into the new year, temperatures look pretty nice as we welcome in 2021. A live look from our Valley Sky Cam in South Fargo shows the moon shining brightly there with those clear skies here in the metro, and it's nearly a full moon, I believe, this evening as well. But then as you look on I-94, still some wet roadways and even still some snowy, slushy roadways on some of those city roads, those non-interstate roads from yesterday's snowfall. Here's a look at some of the top reports we've gotten. Barrett, Minnesota, we got the report of 6.6 inches, around 6 inches in Wolverton, Minnesota. And then for our friends at the airport in Grand Forks, just over 5 inches of snowfall total from this system. And then another couple of reports to point out, the Bemidji area, 4.8 inches, and Fargo-Moorhead, you see 4.1 inches. So this fit pretty well into our range of what we're expecting with the 3 to 6 inches or greater in Minnesota, and that 1 to 4 inches for Fargo-Moorhead in points, mainly in North Dakota. As you can see, things are pretty quiet. A few clouds working into the Devil's Lake Basin and the James River Valley. But Stacy, things are quiet tonight, but cold. We'll talk about how cold it gets, then talk about that warm up for the new year coming up.
All right. Thanks so much, Nathan. Well, even though we're getting a break from the snow, what's left behind is making for tricky travel with several accidents across the region today. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie joins us live with the details of a pileup in town that sent one person to the ER. Courtney?
Thank you, Stacy. A lot of people out on the road tonight, and probably going to be a lot more with the holiday coming up. It's going to be so important to stay on top of the latest weather conditions, and here's why. Here's what the intersection of 45th Street South and 23rd Avenue South looked like today around noon. A 5-car pileup sent one person to the ER and injured many more. It can happen easily. A driver was trying to turn left onto the road here by Applebee's when they slid into a northbound car, pushing them into 3 more cars. Police say all of the injuries were minor and everyone is expected to be okay. The scene was cleared up and traffic was back to normal in about an hour. Now, coming up tonight on Valley News Live at 9 and 10, we're talking with troopers about what they've seen on the roads over the last couple of days, and we'll also tell you what you can expect for your weather for the new year. Reporting live in Fargo, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
All right, thanks so much, Courtney. A man is facing multiple charges after crashing his car into a train in downtown Fargo. It happened just before 2 this morning at Main and Broadway. Officers found 39-year-old John Oshwall alone in the car sitting in the driver's seat. He wasn't hurt. Officers say he was intoxicated and arrested him for DUI and DUI test refusal. As the COVID vaccines continue to roll out, many are hoping that 2021 will bring back traveling, concerts, and large events. But some experts say in order to do those activities, you may need something in addition to the vaccine. Valley News Team's Bailey Hurley joins us live now in the studio with what that is. Bailey?
Yes, Stacey, they're calling them COVID-19 passports. Several companies like Common Pass and IBM are already perfecting their versions of the apps, which would allow people to upload their COVID-19 test results and their vaccination status to create a digital credential in the form of a QR code without revealing sensitive information. As app creators say, data and personal security is their #1 priority. Now, those credentials could then be shown to enter concert venues, stadiums, movie theaters, and to board flights. But of course, as of right now, there are no such requirements. Now, today I spoke with both the Alerus Center and the Fargo Dome, as well as multiple other vendors and venues in the Valley, about the possibility of requiring a COVID passport. But at this time, they all say there are just too many unknowns about the various apps and systems, and say they haven't had any discussions about future implementations. Stacey?
Thanks, Bailey. And developers say they're also working on what they call a smart card you could have on your phone. Minnesota health officials provided updates on the administration of the COVID vaccine in the state today. They say the state is still in phase 1A, which is for healthcare and long-term care workers. Minnesotans who are not in a high-risk age group, are not an essential worker, and don't have underlying health conditions shouldn't expect to get the vaccine until late spring or early summer. They also say the vaccine is being distributed at an unprecedented pace. Today is the 1-year mark since the virus was first discovered in China.
Of course, we all want this to be over, and we all want more vaccine to be available right now. But I hope we can keep perspective on how far we've come and appreciate that vaccine is here in the state and people are receiving it.
Commissioner of Health Jan Malcolm says case growth in Minnesota is down 60% since the peak in mid-November. However, she said testing is down, and we're still at a high level of viral spread in the state, even though it's improving. Well, later on Valley News Live at 6, how officers were finally able to catch up with a suspect who has eluded them for weeks.
And the almanac for Fargo today shows we made it to 22 degrees after waking up this morning to 10 degrees for that low temperature. Then in Grand Forks also made it to 22 degrees, but I do expect a cold night ahead before a warming trend takes over into the new year. I'll break down your full forecast next.